Yeah. You can hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. No echo. I guess I can't figure this computer thing out. So the reason I
Yeah.
use the phone.
The level of pettiness is through the roof, A Ward. I seen the name that you put when you came to the web box. It says number 20, A Ward. Jay Black is in the chat. A bunch of
Oh
other
yeah.
panelists on Champion of the Year in the chat. What's going on? Why did you feel like you should be higher on that list? Let's talk about it.
Nah, the funny thing is, bro, like, it's not necessarily that I feel like I should be higher because I know there's a lot of dope battlers on that list. So whenever you start looking at lists like that, to ask myself to be increased is to try to almost discredit other people's year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily like that. That's the one tough thing about battle rap is like trying to promote yourself as being a winner is in the same vein promoting your opponent as being a loser, you know? And that's the hard thing about it. I think more so was like the dialogue around why I was number 20, if that makes sense. So so I'm looking and I'm hearing, I was on a flight too, so I missed some of the stuff or whatever. But I'm looking and I'm hearing, and cats are like, well, Ward doesn't have he doesn't have a great resume. He only had 4 battles and he had a bunch of 1 rounders. But then they'll look at other battlers that only had 4 or 5 battlers, and they don't mention the same thing. You feel me? I mean, Easy, Fonz, they all had like 4 or 5 battles. Then I'll look and I'll see, like people use 1 rounders against me, like in a negative light. Now I'm cool with it not increasing my stats, but to go and say, oh, well, this 1 rounder, like because you're taking 1 rounders, because you're using material against dudes that you shouldn't even be battling, like that's a negative stain on your record. To me, that means that you don't want me to even like chill with the quote unquote peasants. You know what I mean? And that's just not the character I have traveling in battle rap. I know you did a year where you was dang near battling every weekend. And you could say, bro, that helped your pockets out. And you probably met a lot of really dope people, in different venues in different cities that, they probably still buy your merch and all that kind of stuff. That's part of battle rap that I like.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now
And
let me
so,
let me ask you this, Ward. Can you list all your opponents from last year?
yeah. I mean, I could list
You know what I'm saying?
Mac Myron,
Mac Myron,
Danny
credible.
Myers,
Danny
the
Myers,
two on
credible.
two,
2-on-2, credible.
a guy named Ultimate Beast Primus. He was on No Coast, right? So that was a 3 round. I'm going 3 round battles first. So
Okay.
Ultimate Beast Primus was 3 rounds on No Coast,
Sound
and
like
then
some shit from
Old Red,
Jurassic
that
Park.
was a 3 round battle.
All right, bet.
Then I have 1 round battles against Dre Dennis, which that's a little bit disrespectful too, because everybody's like, yo, A Ward took all these 1 round battlers against guys that the URL rookies would smoke. Now, that's a little bit disrespectful to Dre Dennis because I don't think Dre Dennis is a guy that URL rookies would smoke. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just how I feel. Then we had, a couple cats. One dude named LA Spitta. He battled on Bullpen, but yeah, you're right. He's not a name. And then a guy named PT, which you probably remember PT. And I took the battle because, bro, I used to watch PT and Grind Time Midwest, like Perceptive Theme, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I was a battle rap fan. So, like, I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. Go battle an old Grind Time dude I used to watch battle Double Deuce in pajama pants, Like, that's just how I felt. So yeah, I had those. And then I think I had maybe one more 1 round battle, if I can think about it. But yeah, so, and then I had, obviously all of our video battles and different things like that. So,
Now let me ask you this question, right? In your mind, because right when we talking, this is not discrediting anybody. The list is already out. It's there. It's final. But in your opinion, where would you rank yourself for the 2020 list?
I would have put myself probably right at like 13 or 14, something like that.
So
And so, yeah.
does anybody have the list from? Do you know the list from 20 to 14?
I know it's like Marv, me, Marv, Saint, which was kind of crazy. The 3 cats that don't battle on URL, was the last 3 cats. And then I think you had like Real Sick, Kid Chaos was down there. And I don't know, I could probably pull up.
Yeah, only reason why I'm asking is because you know the discrepancy that's going to be that people are going to say. So it's like Marv being in contention for the 50 grand.
Yeah.
That's why they're going to put him higher. Saint winning the 50 grand. they're gonna put him higher.
Right, and that's all this year though. You know, I mean, that's 2021. You know what I mean? So I think that did. I think 2021 narrative had a lot to do with it. Like shout out Easy. Easy is crazy, right? But Easy versus T Top, Easy's diss track that just came out. It smelled like 2021 in that room. You know what I mean? And like when you have an event, you know, February of 2021, it's hard not to think about that stuff. It's hard not to think about Chilla and K-Shine. Like you can't just say, bruh, you know, I didn't watch Chilla and K-Shine. I didn't hear.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a great point. Black,
Yep.
Jay Black. Next year, niggas have to. This is what I'm saying, right? And I'm not here. I'm never gonna do this. I love Jay Black. I love what he's doing. Before I even got into media, that was the forefront. You know what I'm saying? So, champion of the year, champion Jay Black himself has elevated the culture. He needs all his flowers while he can smell them. Send them to him. Get a pill box, Jay Black. You need all your flowers. Same way y'all critique us, I just feel like next year that shit has to be done before there's any event of the next year, because no matter how much we already got the fan vote in, you can't erase shit out of people's mind that's on the panel, because the panel is going to have what they have embedded based on what they've seen. So if they see some shit that happens before niggas get on the panel, it's like, nigga, I would do it. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? No, you said it, Black, but what I'm saying is, right? I even had discussions where, you know what I'm saying, where niggas talk about money in battle rap, right? And I don't think I said this publicly, but I've spoke to all league owners and said the same thing. I think in terms of a battle rapper wanting more money in his career, it should be documented criteria. You know what I'm saying? Based on, like in the NBA, you could go on stats based on how somebody will climb the ranks, you know what I'm saying, aside from endorsements, engagements, to get that max contract in the NBA. I feel like in battle rap, it should be certain criteria that says when all this is met, your pay increases. Then that way, nobody will be confused on why is he getting this, why is he getting that. I feel the same thing with Champion of the Year. It should be something that is put out as a formal, you know what I'm saying, how David Stern, rest in peace, Adam Silver now will put out certain letters. It should be a letter that goes out to the whole battle rap community that says, this is the criteria you have to meet for Champion of the Year. I feel like if that's put out in January, it will be nobody saying like, oh, boom, this happened, that happened. Because like me, in 2018, 18, you know what I'm saying, when Geechee won, shout out to him, you know what I'm saying, not saying he didn't deserve it, but I was under the impression that Champion of the Year was based on, you know, when you think of champion, like that's like somebody that's undefeated, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. You was one of the reasons why, you know, that didn't happen. So I'm looking at my bro, and I'm not being biased, but people were saying he didn't lose a round. And even if subjectively you felt like he lost one, he arguably was undefeated that year. So that was my thing of like, okay, maybe I don't know what Champion of the Year is. So
it reminds me of not to put it too much in sports terms, but the Heisman Trophy voting, right? It always happens, and the winner is always declared right before even like the conference championships and the national championship happens in January. You know, so what happens a lot of times is cats think that like, oh well, Alabama's playing Florida. This quarterback and this quarterback is in the Heisman. They're going against each other. It's like, nah, bro. All the votes are already in. This is already taken care of. You know, even though these big matchups are happening. You know, so I think that like maybe some way, if you I don't know, you got to kind of get it in 2 weeks, because the way URL's running events, it's dang near impossible to, you know, get everything in, do the coat check, get the top 20, get everybody there, and do it, you know, before you see another event. You know, that's just kind of tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a difficult job, but I just feel like that will eliminate certain things if, you know, it happens before we jump into the new year, because it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's what I always said too. I looked at like Ultimate Madness, right? There's probably like 5 or 6 battles from Ultimate Madness that were close, and on the app, a different person is winning from the person that won judge, right? Yeah.
And so I'm like, yo, it's hard for 4 people to watch a battle once and judge a battle on who won. How hard is it got to be for 10 people to sit in a room and judge a whole year of battles? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And somebody has 6 and somebody has 16 or whatever, you know? But like
yeah,
I said, what irritated me was like, I didn't hear none of that Mac Myron beat A Ward back in January when the battle happened. I didn't hear no interviews. I didn't see nobody sharing, yo, I had Mac Myron getting A Ward up out of here. And then a year later, when nobody's like the prisoner of the moment and trying to like push me back, it's like, oh, I had Mac Myron beating A Ward. Like, bro, come on, get out of here. Like, that did not happen at all. Not even close. And so like that's what's kind of like, you know, was getting a little bit on my nerves. But I did say this, man. Let me tell you something, DNA, and you know this. I'd much rather be 20th than 16th. Like I'd much rather be 20th than almost 14th, you know, like because at the end of the day, yesterday Twitter is talking about me, like people reading out to me, and I could brand being last much better than it matters to be 13th or 14th. It's like, yo, put me at 8 or put me at 20 because this is fun, you know, like just hearing y'all kind of wow out on your little explanations on, you know, on my career, my resume for the year. So
yeah. Like me, like I said, I'm not. Never can I discredit because Jay Black's job is very tough and he did a
100%.
phenomenal job at it. And I'm not discrediting any winners because they deserved it. And if that's what the people voted, that's what they got. I'm just saying, so it could be like it's always going to be an argument because everybody's never going to be happy. We know that this shit is like religion, politics, racism, all of that. You're never going to
100%.
find a happy medium. But I feel like if criteria is put out, it's less confusion because now we know, okay, if you just undefeated, that doesn't mean you win. Now we know if you take 4 battles, you can still win. But if them 4 battles ain't with people that we rank, you know what I'm saying, in high regard, it doesn't. I just think it should be all of the variables put out there so people know, all right, now when we go in here, we know what it takes. Like exactly consistency, schedule, material, performance, impact. That whole disclaimer is put out. Now everybody knows because it's still going to be arguments. I'm just telling y'all that now. Y'all know that. But it's going to eliminate people that's confused. Like, oh, well, I thought if you undefeated, it doesn't matter who you battle. And then it's like, no, because it's who you battle, when you battle, where you battle, and how you battle.
Now they stick to that. They did stick to that in their debates, you know, like the impact, the schedule, and stuff like that. So in my mind, and I don't know if it's quantifiable or whatever, but they need to have. To me, there needs to be like a point system, right? Like you get 10 points if you battle a DNA type caliber battler on a URL type caliber event on, you know, like a Gnome or a Summer Madness. You know, like you have the possibility of winning 10 points if you beat DNA on URL on Gnome. You know what I mean? Like, or if you beat ORED on RBE on, you know, one of their cards, a writer's volume or something like that, like one of their nice cards. You know what I mean? So like, and then you could go back and you could say, okay, well, if you beat, and this is not to discredit anybody, you know, that's not DNA. It's like, okay, well, you beat Jerry West on a band event or whatever, you know, like there's certain, like there's a number that you can almost attach to those types of things. You know what I mean? Rather or not, because somebody could look at A-War versus O-Red. And like I said yesterday, like, bro, O-Red got champion of the year off what he did on RBE the first year, you know? O-Red was arguably undefeated on RBE. I showed up to battle O-Red. He had COVID. I showed up 2 weeks later, you know, to battle O-Red in Newark, New Jersey, you know, and arguably beat O-Red on RBE. Like, to me, that's a crazy good win that should be talked about in those conversations. Like, it's RBE, it's O-Red, you know? But if somebody like a Polo or somebody like some of these other dudes decide that these battles don't mean as much to them as a rookies versus vets where, you know, Easy beats Cortez or something like that, like to me, like that's where the discrepancies are off. You know what I mean? And it becomes all kind of biased and subjective to how people look at your career, at your resume.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also like, and like I said, this is just me because that's why I keep reiterating. I'm not here to tell Black what to do. That's something he put
100%,
work in.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Try very hard. Whatever can't happen, maybe there's reasons why. You know, I'm just saying different intangibles that'll make shit different. Even if, you know what I'm saying? I think he did that one year, and I think he should go back to where the fans even vote who's on the panel. Because I think now as battle rappers, you know, niggas say they unfair. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, Jay Black throw his little sneaky, you know what I'm saying, jokes in there, but Jay Black is really unbiased. You know what I'm saying? I give him
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But I feel like a lot of other people that you see on that panel, you know, if I was active this year, I would have seen a couple niggas there like, well,
yeah,
it's over for DNA.
yeah.
I know. I already know. So that's why it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's a little
Yeah,
tricky, man. But
yeah. It's definitely not easy, you know. And I think the one thing that you have to remember is this: like, believe it or not, like I'm not a URL battler, right? So my stock,
mm-hmm.
my brand, and my opportunities rely on me keeping my buzz high, right? Which
Yeah.
is why you saw me release my coffee rounds, and which is why you want to like I do different things throughout the year, right? Because like RBE and King of the Dot and Bullpen or iBattle, they're looking over like, yo, Ward's being talked about crazy. Like, let's put him against such and such, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I go in my battles or if I go online and I say, yo, Jay Black and Champion is not even top 20 media, you know, Black Compass is like 10. You know what I mean? If I go out there and I address them media wise and I rank them, ain't nobody not tuning in or not caring about Jay Black because of what I said. But if
Yeah.
they go on there and they say, yo, Ward is not like a top 5 battler, he might not even be top 20. He didn't really battle anybody. He don't got quotables or whatever. Leagues and people and brand and Twitter, they all follow that narrative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's tied to my buzz, my wallet, my plates, all of that stuff. So like, I'm going to feel a certain way if you got people up there that feel entitled to speak on my buzz, my brand, and my work ethic, but they really ain't nobody really, you know, they just super biased towards one side or the other, you know?
No, that's 100%. I always say that choose, you know what I'm saying, choose what you say wisely because I mean, me having this platform, I choose what I say wisely. Every time I give an opinion, it comes from a standpoint of you could agree with me or disagree. I never try to give an opinion that could stop anybody from eating or anybody from doing that. Now, I think sometimes people get so caught up in them wanting to, you know what I'm saying, state their opinion. They don't understand painting narrative are one of the biggest things in battle rap. And once you paint that narrative as media, it could get very difficult for a certain artist if they don't have a fan base or they don't know how to move and withstand that. So I think people confuse battle rappers being sensitive on opinions, but when it goes past the opinion, it could go from A Ward you lost to I never want to see A Ward on URL. Two totally different things. A Ward, you lost this. My opinion. I feel like you lost this battle. Your opponent was better than you. They did more things. I never want to see A Ward on URL turns into if a bunch of people run with this, and best believe all the leagues see a bunch of shit, this could actually make people, well, yeah, you know, we kind of don't need A. And then it's like, you think you're just doing a blog because you want some monetization, but now you could be stopping the nigga from getting the bag and eating. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think, I think we got to separate, you know what I'm saying, the two.
Yo, somebody said, hey, Ward got a ghost. My dog just walked in the room, but you can only see the door open. That's hilarious. Now, yeah, I agree with you, bro. And I think that's one reason why, and not to get off topic, I was a little bit critical of Surf and how he was handling some of the analyzing, you know, with some of the pay-per-view events or not pay-per-view, but the Caffeine Live events. It's because you could speak opinion, but then when your opinion starts to come out as facts and becomes influencing, you know, as per like one battler or the other, like it can just get real. It could get real messy right there. And I think that we owe it to ourselves. You know, like maybe if I'm battling you, DNA or whatever, and I'm trying to build up, you know, the battle, I'm like, yeah, DNA trash. You know what I mean? But I can't go out there and say to my followers, man, DNA ain't done. You know what I mean? I just owe that to you from just a peers and like, you know, co-worker standpoint to just not put that out there. You know what I mean? Like just speak on this is my opinion or this is what happened or whatever, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like this is a conversation that, you know what I'm saying, needs to continue, that we need to have so we can come to, you know what I'm saying, a certain agreement. But what I will say to get off of A Ward, you still deserve flowers. The panel still recognized your work to make sure you were on the list. So let's clap it up for that because a lot of people didn't even make the 20. A Ward did make the 20 for 2020. He was there. Salute to him. You know what I'm saying? So I want to congratulate, you know what I'm saying, Jay Black and them for doing that, and A Ward for actually making the list. Get your flowers, you know what I'm saying, while you could get it. Now, I'm about to bring Fonz on to congratulate him for his award. And the only advice I got for you, stay away from T-Top, man. Other than that, I know you're going to have a prosperous career, man.
Look, bro, look. that's gonna be fun, man. It's a fine line between like going at T-Top back and forth and like, you know, trying to big the battle up because I know he wants to battle already. So I don't want to go out there and be on some like disrespect type stuff. But I do want to keep the story going and the buzz going, behind, us battling because it's going to be a war. Like that's one of them like joints. Like, okay, Ward, you got what you asked for. Like you didn't want to take these small names. All right, now you got T-Top, and now I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just smoked young such and such, and because he definitely is a true talent. So man, but I appreciate you having me on, man. Shout out to Black, shout out to everybody with Champion of the Year except Anwar. But nah,